Okay, it's recording. Go ahead, Shelly.
Sure, say all these nice things about me and then record it, right? That's what happens.
Sorry.
Okay, so not going to be super duper structured tonight because I just kind of basically want to chat with you all. Okay, that's when I feel like I do the best, is when I just kind of talk. Because I won't follow notes anyways, so it doesn't matter. But basically what I want to do is I just want to give you, if you guys were on the Discover Ziya call a couple weeks ago, you kind of heard a little bit about my story, but I know there was a lot of you that weren't on there. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and my background and what my version of busy is, because it's different for everybody, right? But I feel like if you kind of get the gist of what I do on a day-to-day basis, then you'll understand how you can apply some of my little tips and tricks into your own lives. So I joined Ziya back in July of last year of 2019 and didn't know Erica, bought some leggings and a bra. She contacted me, said, thank you. I said, how do I sign up? So it was like super quick. Didn't have a whole lot of even really questions for her. I saw the potential and I knew it was a brand new business and I jumped on it. And that's kind of what we all want, right? Especially on a day like today where we have this really awesome sale or discount on the, not even discount, really awesome special on our starter kit. And you just want somebody to be like, oh, hey, yeah, pick me, right? So that was me. Well, and there was not even any discount or special, and it was $395. And I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. So I fast forward a little bit and I got into about January of this year and I really started building my team. So I hit director. I started building my team. A couple months later, I hit senior director. A month later, I hit executive. I was just like, bam, bam, bam. I was going for it. But I realized that it was because I was putting the work in and I was doing it. I saw the potential and I really wanted to just run as fast as I could. I wanted to see where I could go and how many things I could check off of that vision board in this year, right? Well, we all know with things that have happened in 2020 and in March, April, May, when sales were crazy, people were joining the business like crazy. That's when my growth in the company really happened. May of this year, this is kind of where my little story here starts. May of this year is when I was starting to have some medical issues. I wasn't really sure what was going on. It started with an eye problem that I was having, and it quickly developed into numbness on my whole right side, my fingers tingling, constant headaches, super, super tired. I couldn't see out of my right eye all of a sudden. After 4 MRIs, a whole summer full of testing, multiple lab draws, I had 14 vials of blood drawn at one time for lab work. It was just insane. My whole summer, it was the slowest but fastest summer of my life. I was ultimately diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in September. And since then, everything's okay because I now know what's going on with me, right? It's super scary while you're going through all of it and you don't really know what's going on and what's happening and how to even deal with what's going on and just waiting for your next doctor's appointment. Now that I know what's going on, I know what to attribute things to. I still really don't even know what this disease is, but whatever, I'm learning. And so Ziya has went from something for me that was a paycheck and some cool clothes that I got to wear and get paid for, to an incredible group of women who throughout crazy COVID were somebody to talk to and relate to, and friends to confide in through April, May, June, to a whole group of women who stood by me to support me, to lean on, to share my troubles and cry with, to now all of a sudden I have something that I can stay home part-time to take care of myself and my body, still be able to get paid for it, and help my kids grow and be here with them when they were kicked out of daycare or whatever you want to say. So I have financial freedom in the fact that I can stay home and do that. And I have a reason to stay home now as well. But I don't have to be worried about that. I have something that can help me pay my bills, right? So we all know what Ziya can do for us and for our families. But you know a little bit about my background with Ziya. Now I want to tell you what I do besides Ziya, so you get my version of busy. My husband and I We own our own processing plant. So we have a meat locker in our small town. Like Erica said, it's 260 people, not 200. Give us a little more credit than that. But I have, let's see, on my team alone, there are 5 of us, I think, that live here. One right in front of me, Becky, she is waving. One across the street, Chelsea's behind me. We're just all kind of right here in my little corner of town, but we all make it work. So if you think that your market's saturated, like she said, don't even go there. So we've got Cassidy and Sydney, who are sisters, and Jamie, a sister-in-law-ish, I think, right, Jamie? And then we've got all of these people who are like really, really great friends. Amanda's a best friend of theirs, and they all make it work too. So wanted to touch on that. Don't ever think that your market's too saturated, or don't let somebody tell you that, because it's not. But we live in this really small town. We own a meat locker. We're super, super busy because, as you can imagine, COVID hit and meat was sold out of all of the stores, right? So where did they go? They ask any local producer that they know if they can buy an animal from them. They all come to us, and boom, we're booked out for 2 solid years. So from a processing plant that was booked out for maybe 3 months at max, in doing 15 beef and 20 hogs a week, now we're booked out for 2 years doing 35 beef and 70 hogs a week. So it just massively grew. So that's my full-time job. That's what I do. I have 2 children that are 4 and 2. And I also just recently found out that I got another one on the way. So there's one in here, a brewing, and woohoo. And I just kind of told my team that tonight, because I was like, just in case if it sneaks out on the call. And I was like, oh, what the heck, let's just do it. But so I've got a lot going on, right? And I'm on multiple things throughout our town, and I'm just going to kind of stop there because you get my point. But so everybody, thank you guys for blowing up that chat, because I'm super excited about it. But every single person has a different version of busy. Like, don't let somebody discredit your busy, because everybody's busy. You know, my busy might seem crazy to me, but to one of you, it's probably nothing, because you got 20,000 more things than what I've got going on, right? But everybody's version of busy is different, and don't discredit that, because your busy is still busy, okay? Stay-at-home moms, you're busy. You work 24 hours a day, you're busy. Everybody's busy. But what I want to tell you is there are still ways to push whatever you have aside and get it done. So even though I have my medical diagnosis, even though I have my day job and my business, I'm gonna push all that shit aside and I'm gonna get stuff done, right? So sorry if you have kids around, but you read the title of the call, right? So push it all aside and get your stuff done. So I don't care if I have to get up at 4 a.m. My kids wake up relatively early. They're up by like 6 o'clock most days. So I don't care if I have to get up at 4 a.m. I'm probably not going to get up and work out, because I'm an evening workout person, but I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. and I'm going to get my crap done for Ziya. Or after my workout, I got all this adrenaline, right? And these endorphins, I'm going to stay up a little later and get it done. So I don't really care when I got to get it done, but I'm going to get it done. And if you got to jump on your phone and message 4 people while you're in the bathroom go and pee, like, do it, right? If you've got to work on some stuff in the pockets of your day while you're sitting there in the car waiting for your husband to get outside, do it. If you've got to work while your son or daughter or whatever is taking a nap on a Saturday, instead of laying down, do it. Moral of the story, if you want it, you're going to find a way to get it done, right? So whatever you've got going on, whether you have a medical diagnosis, whether you have 10 meetings this afternoon and a Zoom call for your kid's school, take 5 minutes before whatever that is and get it done. Like, push all of that crap out of the way. So you've all read the book, Get Over Your Damn Self, right? Or if you haven't, go read it, because you should have already read it like 4 times. I'm just getting ready to actually start it again. I just read it at the end of this summer and I'm going to start it again. So read that book. The other one that you need to read is the 5-second rule. Read that book, listen to it on Audible, whatever you do. But the 5-second rule has, like, don't want to sound cliche here, but the 5-second rule has like literally changed my life. So I listened to that book I never, ever, ever, ever got up in the morning to work out. I am not a morning person. You talk to me in the morning before I have a cup of coffee and I'm probably going to bite your head off. But I started working out in the morning because of that with Becky. And I would go to the gym, and it wasn't long after that I broke my leg, and then, you know, things happened, and now I don't work out for a little while and I don't run and whatever, but that's Erica's fault. So it's not her fault, it's my fault. So what I'm trying to tell you is don't discredit your busy, because it is important. The stuff that you have to do, your family, they all matter. Like, don't get so caught up in Ziya that you're getting yourself drained out on it, because that's not going to help you either. But also, move yourself out of your own way and get it done. If you want it, you're going to do it. So the other thing that I wanted to touch on, and we've talked about this multiple times, is not to compare yourself to other people. So this is what I was going to say. So Amanda Olson, wherever you're at, you're not on my main screen, so I can't. Yes, you are. You're at the bottom. So you just said, you're like, oh, your background is always so clean. Guess what? I'm going to show you this. I just showed Erica before this call. Look, you guys, don't compare yourself to me. So my background might be all clean and fancy and nice looking, but I got piles of clothes on the floor that I am going through. I'm trying to purge my Ziya. I got Christmas gifts over here. Actually, a whole basket of this stuff over here is my kids' clothes that I'm trying to go through to get rid of them. So even though my office might look great, don't compare, right? We've talked about that multiple times. Don't compare, but not that you were comparing, but I thought that was funny. So I wanted to point on it. But so get your stuff done, you guys. Like, we've talked about this in multiple calls. We've talked about ways to give yourself some time, set aside time here, set aside time there. Like, I don't have some like crazy thing that I do. I don't have some like big extravagant like routine and structure and whatever. Like, I literally fly by the seat of my pants every single day, and I sit here and I'm like, okay, I've got 15 minutes, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. I am one that I don't usually like plan my VIP thing until like the last little bit of the month. I'm always asking for ideas from other people, but do that. Lean on other people in your group chats, in your team, in your directors chat, in your team chat, in Ziyafire. Like, create a thread and ask people in Ziyafire what they're doing for their VIP page this month. Does anybody have any fun ideas? Go to the marketing page and look. Like try to take some pockets of your day to plan for the following month. Try to book parties now for February. So at the end of January, you're not scrambling and trying to figure out how you're going to get all these parties booked, right? I think that so many of us just like, we're procrastinators, because I'm busy, right? So I think so many of us take all of this time and we think that we need to do everything right now and get it done, and you don't. You can take the time that you have now to put 10 minutes into your business, and in 2 hours from now, if you have 10 more business or minutes, put those 10 minutes into your business. So basically, that's what I kind of had to talk about tonight. Like, if you want it, you're going to do it. If you want it, you're going to get it done, right? You just got to get yourself and your mindset going, so that way you understand what your goals and your dreams are and your vision, and make sure that you can see it clearly. And that's why, you know, Eric and I were talking about the vision board right before this call. And that's why, like, get on that call when we do that later on in this month, and make yourself a vision board and put it somewhere where you can see what you want, because your goals and your dreams are going to make you put in the work. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. So I know that was kind of short and sweet, but hopefully it was impactful.
Do you have time? Do you want to open it up to questions, Shelly?
Yes, I do. I would be happy to answer your questions.
Questions, ladies?
Okay, so I get asked a lot from some of the downline girls about following up, and like, what kind of a system do you use? So do you have anything you want to say about that?
Yeah. So first off, my follow-ups start off with an email. They always start off with an email thanking them for their purchase, and it's usually 1 week exactly after they order. I start out with that. I wait usually 2 days, and then I ask them, I kind of wait 2 days just basically to see if they're going to respond to the email. But then after that second day, if they haven't responded to the email, they get either a text or a usually Facebook Messenger message from me. Just, it starts off simply with how do they like their products and how do they fit. You know, just wanted to reach out to you, make sure you like the way everything fits, and I wanted to make sure that we didn't need to exchange anything. Let me know. And simple as that. I mean, a lot of times you get ghosted. Like, it's just what happens. Somebody wants to buy from you and they just want to stay silent, you know. But if they want to answer and tell me that they love everything, then I'll go into the discussion about the rep opportunity or hosting a party. I get super nervous about starting off with the rep opportunity first, but I gauge the conversation. I always gauge the conversation, because remember, you can't go from host to, oh, well, you said no to that. Let's ask if you want to be a rep. And they're probably going to say no to that too, right? So you always want to start off big and then go down, but I just kind of gauge the conversation and how it's going.
So do you prefer to do email versus like just sending them a message on Facebook Messenger? Like, why do you choose email as your first choice?
I generally just do email because I send it out right away, right after. I don't know why I choose that first, actually. I don't. It's just been something that I've done for maybe since May or June. I always did start off with a messenger message at the beginning, and I wasn't getting a lot of response. And since I changed over to the email first, I would say a third of them respond to the email, and then probably another third respond to the message, and a third don't answer.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else?
Shelly, a gal in the chat was talking about, she's fairly new and she was super nervous to post the kit today for the 12 days of Ziya. And I just didn't know if you wanted to touch on like early recruiting or anything like that, and how maybe you go about posting about the opportunity.
Yeah, so I didn't get to post anything today because I'm in Facebook jail, but I had some friends post for me. So actually, about posting when you're new, like ignorance on fire, you guys, like I can't even talk enough about it. So when you can learn with somebody else, that's like the best thing. I actually recruited 3 people within 2 weeks into joining in July of last year. And it was like the best thing ever, because we were all learning together. And if I didn't know something, I could just straight up tell them, I'm sorry, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. Now we all 3 like kind of lean on each other for answers. And it's like we're growing in the business together. But posting right off the bat and being new and posting about the new rep kit, like on your personal page or on your VIP group, I think it's super essential actually in the business, because it shows, one, how excited you are about the new business that you just joined, that you're that excited about it that you're willing to share it with others already. And then 2, that you're showing other people that you're going to be successful regardless of if they join you or not. You're already that enthused about it. So I don't know. I would just say to just continue to do it, and don't get yourself all worked up about not knowing everything. Yeah, the whole ignorance on fire thing, I really believe in that.
How do you personally respond to fears and doubts that people have about hosting a party?
Fears and doubts about hosting a party.
Maybe like, what if it doesn't go well? I feel like that's kind of a fear of the potential host, right?
If somebody would tell me that, oh, well, a bunch of my friends just had a party and a lot of my family members bought, so I don't think anybody's going to buy from my party. I live by voice memos. So I don't have like this little script that I say. I do voice memos all the time, but I pretty much would just say, hey girl, you know, you never know who's going to buy from you. You never know what they want. And more times than not, when they get their first piece of Ziya, they're probably going to want to buy a second or a third or a fourth. We can do lots of different things in your party to kind of get their mind rolling about different pieces that they might not have. And actually, I would just say that you should maybe just send them a message or a text and invite them to the party. If they want to join, they're going to join. If they don't, they'll politely decline. So I'm just honest with them.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Do you set timers for your day for different things like follow-ups, reach outs, monthly planning? How far in advance do you plan?
I don't. So I don't do the whole timer thing. I am 110% just fly through my day. I wing it. I do whatever, because I feel like having two little kids, like you can't really, you can be structured, but let's be real, you can't really totally plan a whole lot of stuff because it's going to change regardless. Somebody can get sick or whatever, you know, you got to go somewhere. So I don't really set timers. I just say, okay, well, I know that I've got this 10 minutes or whatever. And so I start doing something. I am a huge list maker. So I will write lists. I will have Post-its all over the place. I have paper stuck in my planner. And I just cross stuff off and I put it away when I'm done and I come back to it later. And I wouldn't say that I necessarily plan a whole lot in advance, but I do always try to have a whole month worth of parties scheduled before like halfway through the month. So halfway through December, I want all of my January planned and booked out. So I'm starting to book into February by the end of December.
I would say one other thing that you do really well, Shelly, maybe you don't even know it, is you're very direct. So like when you have a question, you don't sit there and have an hour-long conversation with me. Like you just ask me the question and we move on. Like we don't feel like we have to do niceties, and I feel like that can take up a lot of time. So I really appreciate that. I also feel like you're very, when you do work, if you start feeling like you're getting off track, I see that you like will reel it in. You're like, okay, but I'm getting off track. My point here is this, you know? So I'm thinking like earlier today, I'm sitting there and I'm like this whole list and I'm like, I got to get so much done, blah, blah, blah. And then I see myself like getting lost in scrolling on the feed suddenly. And then I was like, wait, right? Like, no, I'm not going to fall into the Facebook trap. And so like, I think a lot of times, like we just have to pull ourselves back and like focus on the goal, but it is really helpful to have a list. I love that. But I think you're really good about that, Shelly, just like focusing on the IPAs and then being open and honest with yourself when you're like going down a rabbit hole that like, you're like, I don't need to focus on this right now. Or like, hey, I think too, you do this like, hey, I know that we are going to talk about this later, like this planning or whatever maybe she is going on. I want to get ahead of it, but I don't have time to do it today. Can we have time later, you know, to do it on Friday? So I think too, like scheduling stuff out also helps you know that you're gonna take care of it, so you can kind of like get it off of your back. Because I feel like there's a lot of, maybe you feel this way too, Shelly, a lot of pressure sometimes to get everything done today instead of identifying what you're gonna do today and allowing the rest of that pressure to be Wednesday, Thursday, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So another thing too with that is I don't, if I have to pull back or have to like reset, I am completely 100% honest with the girls on my team. And I say, hey, you know, I'm sorry that I haven't really been here. I haven't been present in this for, you know, whatever reason, but I want you guys to know you can always come to me with questions, but I've got to focus on XYZ and I'll be back later or whatever. And it's super important to me to take a day here and there to just completely pull out. And, you know, I might schedule a few posts for the day in my VIP group, but I'm like, hey, I'm going out of the office for the day. Let me know if you absolutely need anything, but please lean on each other for questions. So I feel like I'm really honest and open about all of that too, because I know that I need time too.
Awesome. So we have a few more questions.
Okay.
So One girl knows she should be at executive. She has a killer team, and she's looking for another perspective with how she can help her downline. She wants to know how often maybe to check in, what are some different, promotional things, and how she can love on them, I think is kind of what she's asking.
Be real and genuine and honest with them. Just say, hey, what can I do to help you this month? Would you be open to having a one-on-one call? Do you even want that? I mean, I think one of the things is making sure that her downline doesn't feel like, that they're being pushed into something or pressured into something, but that she's offering help to them. Offering the one-on-ones and then saying, hey, if you want to have a one-on-one with me, I'm more than willing to look through your downline and help you with numbers and see where we can help, how we can help their teams grow or help them rank advance or help them move forward with the business. But making sure that they want it too. You never want to want something more than somebody else does. And I think that's really important to stay genuine with somebody, is to make sure that they understand that you're there to help and you're not there to like see them get somewhere. You're there to help them achieve that for themselves. So I guess I would just basically leave it to them, but still check in and still make sure that you're there. Stay consistent with it. You don't want to fall off though either and not check in because you think you're doing it too much.
What about in your frontline chat? I think I think I know too much, but I think she's maybe a little more hands off, and she's looking for like how much she should invest into like a team chat. And like, how often are you posting? What are you posting in the team chat? Like, what does that look like?
So in my team chat, I am in there every day, I think. Girls, right? Yeah. I mean, I try to be in there every day. I want to talk to the girls on my team and say, hey, what's everybody doing this weekend? Did you do anything fun for Thanksgiving? Where are you going for Christmas? Does anybody have any travel plans? I want my team chat to feel more like a community. I don't want ever it to just be all about business. I'm still posting new releases in there and posting challenges, and hopefully my girls are having a lot of fun with it, but I don't want to make it all be business because I don't want it to ever get boring. I don't want it to just be that, oh, here's Shelly again challenging us to do something else. What does she want? I want them to have fun, and I want to get to know them too. We have been having monthly like team happy hour calls, and whoever can show up shows up, and we just sit there and chat, and it's really fun. And I think we're all getting to know each other because a lot of the girls on my team, I don't personally know them either, and I'm getting to know them, and that's fun. So I think that definitely helps build the relationship.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Did that help? Drop another comment if you need help. Okay, Shelly. Do you ever get tired of doing parties?
Yes. Honestly, yes. And I think everybody does. And typically what I would do, and I try not to just pull back 100%, but I will, if I know that I need a break, I will schedule a week where I only do one, or because a lot of times I'm doing a couple, 2 to 3 parties at a time. So I will only schedule one, or if I want time off, I will just not schedule a party. This week, I do not have a party this week because I needed a break because, right, I'm busy. We're all busy. So I wanted a break. We just came off of Nebraska rifle season for deer, and it is crazy at our meat processing plant. We are there from 7 in the morning till 10, 11, 12 at night for a week and a half. So we just got done with that, and I'm tired. I didn't want to do any parties. So I scheduled myself a week where we didn't need to, where I didn't want to, but I actually pushed myself really hard to get the extra PV before that so I could take the time off.
How do you grow your VIP group monthly or at all?
I ask I a lot of times incorporate that into like a VIP promo for my customers in my VIP group. And it will be something like this last month, I did a bingo card where if they did all of these things, if they got a blackout, they got X. If they got 6 spaces, they got this. If they got 4 spaces, they got this. Well, an entry to get whatever. That grew my group just this past month by, I think, 25 people. So I just straight up ask them, I say, hey, you know, this means a lot to me and you're giving me a lot of support just by adding your friends to my group. Would you guys be willing to share my group on your Facebook page and tag me? I'll do a drawing for a tank top or a bomber bra or whatever it may be. Just asking them for their help to grow your business and letting them know how much it means to you and how much they're supporting you by doing so.
I'd also just say parties grow your
Yeah.
VIP group, right? Like new customers.
Mhm.
Okay. What is your advice on getting party guests to book parties?
I had this really great thing for a while that was working for me, probably like January through March, and then it didn't work. And then it started working again later on in the summer. But I started doing this. Well, I've done the bingo card for the hostess where they get 2 people to book and then that's one of their spots. So then hopefully they'll be talking to their friends. I've done that before. But what was really working for me for a while was I would give the hostess a bomber bra if 2 of her friends booked. But I wasn't doing the bingo card for the hostess. It was just she got a bomber bra if 2 of her friends booked a party. And I actually advertised that in the party. And I said, hey, Emily's going to get a bomber bra if 2 of you guys book a party. Let me know who's interested. And then I had her send out messages to her friends also, or tag her friends that she thought might be interested. Working like a charm. I had like 2 months worth of parties booked out. I was booking like 3 and 4 months out. And then it quit working. And I was like, what the heck's going on? I don't know how to do this. Well, then I kind of changed and I went back to the bingo card for a little while. And then that quit working. So I went back to the bomber bra thing. I think it's just kind of trying to figure out and find what works for you and moving forward with it. But also the check-ins, the follow-ups with the customers that booked from the party, asking them how they like their items, and then moving into the, you know, I know that you had a wish list and you liked a lot of the things that we posted in so-and-so's party. What would you say about getting some of those free and half off for yourself? I make it super easy, you know, just be genuine with them and let them know that it's not a lot of work, but the more work they put into it, the more they're going to get back.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, we won't take up any more of your time, Shelly. I think we got all the questions, but I just want to, first off, completely thank Shelly and blow up the chat, ladies. Thank her for her time. But also, I want to thank all of you for showing up right now on this call. I know that this is time away from family, and I love seeing familiar faces almost weekly. And I just want you to know that the more you show up and the more you keep preaching to your teams and keep saying, hey, join this call, like they eventually will. I see faces on here that I have been telling, please join this call for a year. And I'm just so excited to see these faces when they haven't. And you're going to feel more connected. If somebody is struggling, it's because they're not plugged in. So stay plugged in. And stay here with us. But I appreciate all of you guys taking this time to come and plug in and love on everybody. So again, congratulations, Shelly, on baby number 3. That was on her vision board, just FYI. So dreams do come true. So you guys can unmute yourselves, give Shelly all the love and all the congratulations on that. So exciting.
Woo! Congrats, Shelly.
Yay!
Congrats, Shelly.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Love you,
Bye.
girls. Bye.
Thanks, girl.